Did you know some state employees are charging taxpayers for their daily commute to work? This is Talk Back, and I'm Amber Gunn. It's the kind of thing we wish we had made up. Every year, employees of the Washington State Ferries are padding their salaries with thousands of dollars in mileage reimbursements. One especially nomadic employee, in addition to his annual salary of nearly $115,000, charged taxpayers $22 grand last year for his lengthy commute. Gee, it sure is rough being on the public payroll right now. So why are these particular government employees getting special treatment? We can hardly imagine any private sector employer agreeing to these terms. Surprise, it's all about union contracts. The agreements call for ferry employees to get paid to travel from their homes to their floating workplaces. Let me say that again. Our tax dollars are being used to pay these ferry employees to drive to work. We all have to pay for our own commute expenses, so why can't they? But lest you think posh union benefits are limited only to state ferry workers, consider this. The average state employee pays only 12% for his or her healthcare premium. Compare that to the private sector, where workers usually pay double that amount. Making matters worse for taxpayers, according to the government's own calculations, a person who works for government gets paid about $20,000 more than the taxpayer in the private sector. Despite these facts, Democratic leaders would rather propose tax increases than modify the union contracts. Governor Gregoire argues that unions will sue if she tries to change their sweet deal, but our state's collective bargaining laws allow labor agreements to be modified in the event of a significant revenue shortfall. I'd say the current budget situation qualifies. So let's face it, many politicians have been unwilling to seriously consider renegotiating state employee contracts, since unions are generally the largest campaign contributors. They'd rather hold taxpayers hostage than change agreements that might cost the people who fund their campaigns. Now, imagine this. Imagine if legislators chose the option that was best for taxpayers instead of union bosses. Just imagine all the resources that could be saved and directed toward more important priorities. Maybe the state wouldn't need quite so many of your dollars if politicians stopped funneling posh benefits toward the people who fund their campaigns. But these abusive practices aren't going to stop anytime soon unless we, the voters, force the issue. Unless we speak with our elected officials about whether or not they think funding Cadillac wage and benefit plans is a higher priority than levying more taxes and fees on us. So maybe you should talk with your elected officials. A prioritized government means smaller government. Smaller government means less expensive government and more freedom. And that leads to greater innovation and prosperity for everyone. It's your choice. It's your country.